Welcome to the Strange North channel. In this video, I'm going to show you 10 more haunted locations in Edmonton, Alberta. A couple weeks ago, I did a video of Edmonton's top 10 haunted locations, and that was a very good starting point for exploring Edmonton's local ghost stories, but there are definitely a whole bunch of other places in the city that are also reportedly haunted, and I wanted to do another video to show you some of those places. So let's get started. At number 1 is the Firkins House. The Firkins House is now located in Fort Edmonton Park on the 1905 street. But the house was originally the home of Dr. Ashley Firkins, who was a prominent dentist that moved to Edmonton with his wife from Chicago in 1912, which is when the house was built. In 1992, the house was actually moved to Fort Edmonton Park to preserve it as part of Edmonton's history. And over the years, people have talked about many strange things happening in this house. People have talked about the apparition of a floating woman in a white dress who shows up in pictures that are taken in the living room of the house. There are legends of a sickly young boy haunting this house, as well as people hearing a man singing lullabies when they're alone in the house. And there are even stories about a ventriloquist dummy that materializes inside cupboards and moves around on its own. At number 2 is Concordia University. This is another one of Edmonton's popular post-secondary institutions. It was founded in 1921, and apparently it's haunted by the ghost of a teacher from the 1960s that has been seen walking around the halls. People have also talked about hearing disembodied voices and seeing strange lights, and even experiencing cold spots throughout the school and having doors slammed shut on them. So there's a variety of stories coming out of this school, and it's definitely one of the most haunted locations in Edmonton. At number 3 is Victoria Composite High School. This was opened in 1911, and apparently it is haunted by the ghost of Eva O. Howard, who the school's theater is named after. Apparently she is blamed for mischief and problems that occur on the first night of new theater productions. At number 4 is Athabasca Hall on the University of Alberta campus. Apparently this building is haunted by the ghost of a boy with blue lips and frosty eyelashes who is wearing a plaid shirt and wool pants. This boy belonged to a family that was part of a work camp that was building the hall during its construction, and they were living down by the North Saskatchewan River. One day this boy left his jacket by the river and went to retrieve it, and when he didn't return home that night, his family went to the river the following morning and they found his dead frozen body by the river. And to this day, his ghost is said to haunt Athabasca Hall and the surrounding area. At number 5, also on the U of A campus, is the North Power Plant. Now, this building is no longer a power plant, although it definitely retains that vibe. It has been redeveloped and renovated into a collection of workspaces and offices, and various organizations have been housed in this building over the years. Apparently, to this day, this building is haunted by the ghost of a scientist who wanders the halls, and people have talked about objects being moved around at various points throughout this building. And at number 6, also on the U of A campus, is the Emily Murphy House. This house was built in 1912, and it was the home of Emily Murphy, a very prominent women's rights activist and author in Alberta. She lived here from 1919 until her death in 1933. And to this day, her ghost has been seen in this house, particularly in the upstairs left bedroom. At number 7 is the Strathcona Hotel. This is on a prominent corner in Edmonton's old Strathcona neighborhood. This is a very old building built in 1891. And according to the legend, a woman was brutally murdered here in the 1980s, and her ghost is said to haunt the building to this day. She appears as an apparition with long black hair, dripping blood, who appears at various points throughout this building. At number 8 is the old Strathcona Arts Barns. This is very close to the Strathcona Hotel. This building is now a performing arts center, and it features various performance spaces as well as a large stage. According to the legend, in the 1950s, there was an explosion in this building, which at the time housed all of the city's buses and trolleys. And this explosion killed a maintenance worker. And to this day, apparently this building is haunted by the ghost of a man in blue overalls who has been seen walking across the main stage or even standing in the wings watching performances. At number 9 is Old Scona Academic School. This was opened in 1908, and according to the stories, during construction, there was a man found dead face down in cement, and in an attempt to cover up this untimely death, the site supervisor entombed his body in the school's foundation. And to this day, this man is said to haunt this school. People have talked about lights being turned on and off, doors opening and closing on their own, and even desks in classrooms mysteriously turning around and being repositioned when no one else has been in the room. And at number 10 to close our list is the Strathcona County Archives and Museum. This is located in Sherwood Park, which is a small city right beside Edmonton, sort of a suburb or a bedroom community of Edmonton. This building was originally used by the RCMP and the fire department, and it was opened as a museum in 1997, but the building is said to be haunted by the ghosts of a former RCMP officer as well as a prisoner that was once jailed in this building. And over the years, people have talked about items and displays moving around on their own, open Bibles having their pages turned, lights mysteriously coming on at night, and there's even a story about a museum volunteer that was there alone and the jail door slammed in front of them. And so this building is definitely considered one of the most haunted locations in the Edmonton area. So those were 10 more haunted locations in Edmonton, Alberta, including one just outside of the city. I hope you found that interesting and informative, and if you'd like to see more haunted locations in Edmonton, please check out my other videos, because I did one a couple weeks ago on Edmonton's top 10 haunted locations, and I covered some really cool areas in that one as well. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the Strange North channel.